There has been a string of cattle mutilations in the Brazos Valley in Texas. That's where I live, in the Brazos Valley. And in fact, my MUFON chapter is investigating this series of cattle mutilations, and now the national media is picking up on this story. So let's talk about it. Get in here. This is Jack with Cosmic Road. I talk about UFOs and the paranormal. Please hit like, please subscribe, share on social media, and let me know what you think in the comments below. I've long been fascinated by the phenomenon of cattle mutilations, and there are so many theories about why these things happen. In fact, I've even read or seen a couple of different accounts where beings have told people why they do it. Unfortunately, they don't have the same story, so you know, it's the typical case with the beings is they don't always say the same things, and you know, you can't really trust the information you're getting from them. But there are many different stories and theories about why these events occur, and we can get into some of that later, but let's get into the actual details of these cases. This is from Fox. Texas cattle found dead with tongues cut out. And of course, it was more than just tongues. The Texas Sheriff's Office is coordinating with other agencies investigating the suspicious deaths of other cattle found in similar circumstances. Yeah, and this is a string that's been occurring very recently, like within the last month here in the Brazos Valley. And this may be connected to other cattle mutilations in in the Midwest that are also happening now. And this is something that my MUFON group talked about yesterday. We have 2 field investigators that have been investigating this since the case broke. So I will give you more updates as they become available on that. Texas authorities are investigating the deaths of 6 cattle that were found with their tongues removed, no blood spilled, and no signs of struggle. The cattle were found along a Texas highway in Madison, Brazos, and Robertson County. Ranchers told the Madison County Sheriff's Office that a 6-year-old Longhorn Cross cow had been found lying on her side and mutilated. And they evinced the typical mutilation patterns, by the way. It's not just blood, it's not just tongues. And Madison County, by the way, is the county next door to me. A straight, clean cut had been made with apparent precision to remove the hide around the cow's mouth on one side, which is very common, just on the one side, leaving the mat under the removed hide untouched. The sheriff's office said the tongue had also been completely removed with no blood spill. The sheriff's office said there were no signs of struggle and there were no signs of footprints or tire tracks in the area. Stranger still, no predators or birds would scavenge the remains of the cow, leaving it to decay for several weeks. So yeah, no footprints. So, you know, humans didn't do this. There was no blood. You know, how could they do all these incisions with no blood? And no predators will touch these cows. All very typical of anomalous cattle mutilations. And indeed, there aren't really unanomalous cattle mutilations. Not much. So 4 adult cows and 1 yearling were discovered along the highway in Brazos and Robertson counties in similar circumstances. The sheriff's office said the cows were found in the same condition, lying on one side with the exposed side of their face cut along the jawline and their tongues completely removed. On 2 of the 5 cows, a circular cut had been made, removing the anus and external genitalia with the same precision as the cuts around the jawlines of each cow, the sheriff's office said. And of course, coring out the rectum is very typical, as is removing the genitalia. All of those are extremely typical, and just, you know, that's what they're here to do, is to remove very specific parts of the cows. And that's what they do, very cleanly and neatly. In each discovery, there were no signs of struggle or disturbance, no blood spill, no noticeable tracks, no predators or birds would scavenge the remains. The cause of death of all 6 cows remains unknown. The sheriff's office said it was coordinating with other agencies across the U.S. to investigate similar incidents. Like I said, this is part of a string of cases occurring not just here in the Brazos Valley, but also occurring apparently in the Midwest. And there seem to have been other cases as well. So we are still gathering information on this. Like I said, my MUFON chapter is investigating this. This is in our own backyard. This is the area that we're responsible for. So, of course, we are looking into this very zealously. It's possible I might get a chance to go out on some of these ranches and see the lay of the land myself, or at least consult with our investigators when they go out, if we can actually find out which ranches these were. Because that's kind of the problem right now. The sheriffs aren't really cooperating, and they're not giving out any information to us. But we are still working on them, and if that fails, we're going to talk to the reporters, see if they know anything. And we have other sources as well, and we're reaching out to people like Linda Moulton Howe, and we might even get her involvement on this, because of course she is, she made her bones, no pun intended, on cattle mutilations. So it'd be an honor to work with Linda Moulton Howe. I'm a big fan of hers, and that would be super cool. So anyway, here's what NBC said. Multiple major news outlets are covering this. 6 cattle died mysteriously in Texas with their tongues removed, the hide around one side of their mouths gone, and no blood spilled. The cause of death for the 6 animals was unknown, the Madison County Sheriff's Office said in a statement Wednesday. As of Friday, there have been no updates in the case, a dispatcher said. The cattle were found along Texas State Highway in 3 counties, Madison, Brazos, and Robertson, all in the Brazos Valley, with each animal part of a different herd in a different pasture, the sheriff's office said. So are they getting like samples, from around the area? Because that's one theory, is that the beings are testing pollutants in the area, and how our bodies absorb these pollutants by, taking various pieces of cattle. Some have suggested that it has to do with chemicals in the soil. Some have suggested it has to do with the proximity to nuclear reactors and the like. There is actually a nuclear reactor here in College Station at A&M. So, but so who knows? 5 of the animals were adults. 1 was a yearling. It wasn't immediately clear when they died. The sex of the animals wasn't disclosed. In 2 cases, the animals' genitalia and anuses had been removed with a circular cut. And that's interesting, but there's only 2 of those cases, right? So, why didn't it do that for all of them? With a circular cut that the sheriff's office said had been made with the same precision as the cuts noted around the jaw lines of each cow. Investigators with the Madison County Sheriff's Office discovered 5 of the deaths after ranchers alerted authorities to a dead 6-year-old Longhorn Cross cow. The grass around the bodies was undisturbed, with no signs of struggle and no footprints or tire tracks found. Let's see. Ranchers also reported that no predators or birds would scavenge the remains. Yet, similar incidents have been reported across the United States. Right. This is the interesting thing. So, all those 6 deaths were within the last month, and this is part of a pattern that is ongoing, not just in Texas, but in other parts of the country as well. There seems to be a big flap of cattle mutilations. And that's really weird. So there's also, let's see, this is Oregon. This is 2019. Authorities in Oregon found 5 dead bulls that had their sex organs and tongues removed. The deaths prompted theories that included everything from carrion bugs to spaceships and cult killings. Well, it's not carrion bugs, and it's certainly not cult killings. And all the thousands of cattle mutilations over the years, there's been no arrests, so it's not people. Obviously, there's many anomalous features to these cattle mutilations. There's, for example, cows have a sac around their heart, and when the hearts are removed, There's no puncture in the sac, as if the heart was just beamed right out of them. So yeah, just many, many anomalous features that humans are incapable of performing. So now, not people doing this. An FBI agent who investigated an earlier wave of mysterious cattle deaths on tribal lands told the Associated Press that there was no indication that anything other than common predators were behind the deaths. Interesting. Shocking that an FBI agent would not reveal the truth about anomalous phenomenon. But yeah, so this is going on right now throughout the country, but particularly here in the Brazos Valley. There are these string of 6 mutilated cattle, and it's possible that there are others. These are only 6 that have been reported, but there are likely others that have gone unreported or even undiscovered on these large ranches. And it's possible that with these reports coming out, that it'll encourage other ranchers to come forward with information. So, the more data we have, the better. That's why we're investigating this. And we talked about this extensively at our MUFON meeting yesterday. And so I will keep you updated if we make any progress, get any more information, if we go out to the ranches or consult with Linda Moulton Howe. Whatever happens, I'll keep you guys in the loop. But what do you think? What is behind all this? What is the rationale? What are the beings doing? What are they up to? Let me know your thoughts. And I'll talk to you next time. Please hit like, please subscribe, hit the bell to be notified of future videos. You don't want to miss a thing. Join me on social media. There's Facebook and Twitter links below. I would love to see you guys there. And check out some of my other videos. Until next time, this is Jack with Cosmic Road signing out.